support, godfatherism with the APC and all of that, that he was thinking, this was the time of the PDP. He's come here to argue a couple of times that most of the votes you got in Lagos were also PDP votes. I mean, what do you say about that dichotomy vis-a-vis your own Labour Party candidate in Lagos? Another question I'd like to ask you is this. In this our country where rule of law has been put on the background, that people don't even obey court judgment again, it might sound like a funny question, but in a case where a court judgment gets in your favor, maybe in the Supreme Court, and it's not obeyed, what happens? Because that's the kind of dichotomy and anarchy we've put on the land. And this your newfound friendship with the PDP. Are you people challenging this together? Have you been talking to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? What have you people been saying to each other? Because both of your vice presidential candidates had a joint press conference together.
Well, let me say this. There's no partnership between Labour Party and the PDP. Both of us are challenging a process that is wrong. That is acceptable. The process is wrong, and we're challenging it because we're all participants. It's like there's several people are involved in a competition, and it goes wrong, and they come together and say, it happened. There's so many court challenges all over the world where maybe if you see the abroad where somebody have raped one woman, he went to court, several others who were raped by the same man comes out. They're not acting jointly, but because they have been a victim of the same man.
But both of you are saying you won the election. No, Elijah took over saying you won the election. You two are saying you won the election.
No problem. That is why we want to check the process. It is not the process that will say who actually rightly received the highest number of rightful votes cast in the said election. Because what is important is who received the highest number of rightful votes cast in the election and who has a spread. So if we do the right things, this what we are claiming now is because of the confusion that was deliberately created by INEC. If they had done the right things, we won't be here. Nobody will be arguing. Like I said, I have my respect for Atiku. My respect for him remains as long as I live. He's a respected elder brother.
You've been speaking to him?
Of course.
As regards this election?
No, not as regards this election, but any other issue. We have always remained close. He's my respected elder brother. On issue of Nigeria, we are two different candidates. I'm committed to a new Nigeria, committed to doing things differently. And my commitment is total. But my commitment does not in any way affect my respect for him or Tinubu. I will remain respectful to them. On issue of Lagos, the Labour candidate in Lagos remains the best candidate. Is through a thorough negotiation from a family that everybody is well known. His educational background, his age, everything is not in question. And he has the right age and the right energy. And I support him 100%. So do I do whoever Labour candidate that will be choosing through the right process. I told you here that we don't have candidates everywhere. We have maybe 5, 6, or 7 candidates, and I support them. Wherever you see me not supporting a candidate, Labour Party, especially our chairman, must have maybe worked with them in partnership or somehow to be able to achieve what we achieved in the last election. And Labour as an institution is bigger than me. And I respect and take the ratings of the chairman. Because we want to build institutions, so it will work. Even if I'm the leader, I believe in the institution, and I must respect the institution. Not some of the rascalities I saw in other parties that makes it not work. Because people think they're bigger than the party. I'm not bigger than Labour Party. Labour Party remains bigger and also whatever directives. So I assure you we support GRV, and I can tell you he's a fantastic candidate.
Okay, Mr. Obi, here is a friend of yours. I don't want to name him on television. Responding to the point you made about age. Maybe you want to clarify that. He says, remind Peter that if he's going by age, at 63 years, he himself isn't qualified. We should be talking about credibility and the characteristics of leadership, irrespective of age.
63 years. Who is 63?
That's what he's saying about you. I'm just reading what he sent to me. He said, it's not about age. The task of nation building is a mutual responsibility between the young and the old. The old contributing experience and maturity, and the young collaborating with audacity and diversity. In the USA, that he quotes, the use of age as a criterion for any job is considered discriminatory, just like religious and gender discrimination. So Peter Obi is out of place using age against his co-contestants. That's what this person said.
Remember when I quoted age, I wasn't talking about myself. Remember?
Yes,
I didn't say so. They asked me that somebody said 40 years is too young for Lagos State.
Yeah.
That was when I said that people who are talking about age, that is them that are above 75 should actually retire. But let's not compare age in the US and here. Please. Ruben, in the US, life expectancy is 72.5 years. In Nigeria, life expectancy is 54. So at 70, you've actually passed 16 years. Your life expectancy. Yes, we should have gone. So, and some of these people who are saying this have contributed why people are dying, where we have high infant mortality. So let's not compare the two. It's not the same society. Life expectancy, somebody who is 8 in America is different from somebody who is 80 here. So you cannot compare the two of them. I'm not going to go into life expectancy, but I assure you, and two, I'm not 63 years old, Ruben, as maybe right, maybe wrong. My affidavit letter, which I still carry around, my mother gave me since 1970, is that I was born in July 19th, 1961.
On what market day was it?
So if anything is wrong,
for the benefit of the man asking the question.
If anything is wrong, I hold my mother responsible. But she's been a wonderful woman. I didn't have the privilege of my father giving me, so it's my mother who gave. So if you follow it, Ruben, I'm still going to be 62 in this July. So I'm not comparing the age and all that. But I assure you of my commitment is that, and I listened to what he said, we need experience of age. But the age and old have not used that experience. Rather, what they are doing is claiming experience in failure. They've not used it to progress the place. Rather, they tell you, do you know I've been doing this for 30 years? And so what? The place failed. How can you claim experience in failure? If you have been doing it for 30 years and we're in this mess, then you should actually cover yourself in shame. Not saying, I've been around for 20 years. Thereby, it's my entitlement. No. You have to claim entitlement where things are progressing, where things are going well. And that's what it should be.
Okay. Now, one of the reasons why the age conversation has come up, particularly with Gbadebo Rodsvivo in Lagos State, is also looking at his political experience. So beyond just his biological age, what some people have said is that he doesn't have that political heritage. He doesn't have that experience in governance and public service. I'd like you to speak to that, please, because it's beyond age. It's also the fact that, so you talked about the fact that he went to MIT, fantastic, Ivy League school. However, they're saying that if you're going to, govern a diverse cosmopolitan city like Lagos, you would need more than an MIT certificate. What do you have to say to that?
Which experience? When you talk about experience, you know, my sister, when I was campaigning to be governor of Anambra State, I've never worked in government. I've never had anything to do with government. I was faced with the same thing. I was his age. I was just about, I started campaigning in 2003. 2001, I was just 39. By the time that the election took place, I was 41, 42. So I was at that age. And it was the same thing. People were saying, hey, who is he? He has never worked in government before. He has not done this before. The only experience they can claim is the same experience of corruption, experience of stealing, experience of doing the wrong thing. In fact, at times it's good to bring somebody who doesn't have that experience so he can clean up the mess. I came in without that experience, and when they wanted to teach me the experience, I told them they are wrong. I recall telling my people to ask me, why will government of Anambra State have a lodge in Abuja? They said, because every state have it. I said, well, we can't. The governor doesn't live in Abuja, so shut it down. Why would this one happen? Why is the government going to have 18 guest houses? They say because that's the order, because you have guests. These are things we shut down that made us have the money to do the work. So the experience they have is the experience I'm trying to remove. That's the structure that I'm telling you about. What you saw challenging now is a structure that we are saying we have no structure, we have no structure. That's the experience. As far as I'm concerned, he's at the right age, the right energy, the right educational background. Whatever there is that you think is lacking, because of his exposure and everything, he will be able to read it. A job of a leader is always listening and learning. Okay. And I did that, and we succeeded. Listen to the people, do what they want, prove your integrity, and look at your background, where you're coming from. Remember that if you steal, it's going to show in the alumni listen of MIT, and you're not a thief.
Okay. Okay, real quickly, so just to get it clear, you were born in 1961. That means you're going to be 62 this year.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'd like to ask, what is now the level of your relationship with Governor Soludo of Anambra State? Because we remember the brouhaha about the letter that was written then. We remember all that transpired. And the fact that the words were, oh, you are not prepared, you are probably going to hinder, you know, the Igbo chance and things like that and all of that. And what's your reaction to people that call you an Igbo presidential candidate?
Win only 2 states.
Eh?
I win only 2 states.
He said you win only 2 states. Yes, but you've won more than 2 states today and you're challenging further. So what's your reaction to all the things Governor Soludo said? And what would you like to say to Governor Soludo now if he's watching with all of this that has happened?
First is that Governor Soludo remains, number one, my respected elder brother. Always. He's my governor, so I respect him as my governor. And I always remember in prayers that he governed the state very well, because at the end of the day, I live in Onitsha. If anything goes wrong, it affects me directly. So I always remember him in my prayers, and I always wish him well. We never had any agreement. His political understanding or his stand does not in any way affect me. We're family, and we remain family. And I will never, in any way, make comment on everything. Whatever what he said, like I said when he said it, that he's a professor and a trader. So 2 of us have different ways of reasoning. You can't expect a professor, a trader, to be thinking like a professor. Neither will a professor, but that's where we are. So there's no problem between the 2 of us. We are friends, and we remain so.
Well, for this,
on the other, what you mentioned about the issue of age, I'm not against age. If you're 70 and you're healthy and everything, I only said age should not be used, especially to talk about inexperience. I'm also saying that age at certain times should be used to say you can no longer physically, because the job requires physical energy. I can tell you, go ask those who know me very well, I used to travel to London and back here 3 times in a week. I arrive in the morning, come back in the evening, arrive in the morning, come back in the evening. Today it's not possible. I was doing it when I was 30, up to 40. Today I probably need to break it. So if I get to 70-something, it won't be the same thing. If there's anybody who can move anywhere, I went to not just 36 states when I was campaigning, I went to over 100 places. If I go to your state, which state are you?
Ogun State.
Thank you. Go, I'm the only person who went beyond one. If I go to Ogun, I'll visit another place. If I went to Oyo, I went to Ogbomosho. I went to Oyo State. I went to Adamawa, I was in Numan, I was in Mubi. I was in Medugri, I was in Biu. I went to Edo, I was in Auchi, Uromi, and this. It was possible. The other candidates can do the same thing. They can knock themselves. It has to do with physical energy.
Well,
and it's important.
We have to begin to wrap up now. But just one more thing for you to respond to. There's something circulating on social media over the weekend that you were a member of the Association for Better Nigeria that supported the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. And they've been passing it. In fact, if you circulate it, it will say forwarded many times. So were you with Aton Zerebe, who led that movement at that time?
In 1993, Ruben, I lived in England. I had nothing to do with politics. In 1993, my business was between here and the UK. I was living in England with my family. You know, if you want to know, my son was born in 1993, December. I'm going to check his birth certificate. He was in England. It's today, go and check it very well. So my daughter, go and check. There were primary schools in England. They can't have little people who are in primary schools in England. And I'm in Nigeria, doing better Nigeria, where my wife lives there. So who are they living with? So the people do all sorts of things. I was not involved in politics. Never even voted as at that time. You know, I was actually probably a businessman contributing to building a better Nigeria, involved in supporting Nigerians in different areas. Just like I said, I supported Abiola when he contested because I listened to what he was doing, and I was doing so in my capacity in different ways. And when he failed, they started INEC. There's other people who are involved in it, like Raphobia, whom I mentioned, or Latin and who will tell you they know me and everything. So I don't know what lies here. They say, oh, he's doing. And I've said there shouldn't be ethnic tension. People should go out and vote for Wadebo. He's the right candidate. Like they go out and vote in other areas, even where I mentioned that if you have competent people in other parties, vote for them.
Okay, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Peter Obi, for joining us today on The Morning Show. Thank you very much indeed.